Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Overwatch Central. A few things to talk about today, but I do want to keep it fairly light. We have, of course, the new dates for the Overwatch Archives event, and a little bit of concern around the event as a whole, which we'll go over very shortly. Some changes to the Overwatch League, which I'll put at the end of this video because I know that some of you guys may not be as interested, but also looking at the patch which went out last night, we got our first glimpse on at least semi-pro players using this patch. This gameplay on in the background is from the Tespa Collegiate Series, the Championship 2019, not quite pro level, but it was interesting to highlight some of the interesting compositions that were used. Guts was used a lot, but as we'll highlight in the rest of the video, there were some other pretty gnarly strategies. So the next Overwatch event that's meant to be coming out is the Overwatch Archives Retribution event. Most of you guys know it because it's a very popular event as a whole, you know, it was one of the fan favourites, the PvE missions that you could do, and lots of people, no doubt, are very excited for this event that's coming up. But I have some good and bad news. So this was leaked on the Spanish Play Overwatch website. I believe it was also leaked on the UK one too, of the Overwatch Retribution event, with the dates April 16th to May the 6th. I saw Stylosa tweeting it out too, but generally the dates have changed. If you want to double check, the date for last year's event was April 10th to the 30th, so this is about a week later in the schedule than it otherwise would have been. But the thing that's got a lot of people concerned is the fact that it's Overwatch Retribution event, which means that it might be a rerun of last year's event for this year too, which would be a crying shame. Jeff Kaplan has in the past said that not to expect any new real events, I suppose, but I guess nobody was really expecting that Overwatch and Blizzard may skip out on Overwatch Archives. Considering last year not only did they put on a big show with a Retribution event, they had little cinematics, they showed it off at the Overwatch League, but they also had brand deals going on with YouTubers and streamers to go back into Overwatch to play it again. I know Valkyria took part in that with a few of the Yogscast as an example. So it was a big thing that Blizzard put a lot of money and time into, that I would be very surprised that they kind of miss out on that opportunity again this year. The only thing that I could think about this is maybe they're going to put more time and effort into Overwatch's 3rd anniversary. The anniversary event would start at the end of May, and considering that this event finishes at the start of May, maybe they're just going to gloss over the Retribution event and then the anniversary they might put on some big stuff. Who knows, but I certainly wouldn't be concerned that the Overwatch Retribution event is going to be the same. If it is, that'd be really frustrating because it is a really good event in itself, but we do have an event following literally straight afterwards, so maybe there's going to be more stuff around that. Blizzard are no doubt working on some pretty cool things. Who knows at this point? So now to go over the gameplay in the background. This is one I wanted to specifically highlight because we have double main tank in this form of Goats comp. As I said, Goats comp was used, but there was a little bit more variety in heroes like Moira being involved, Anna as you've seen on screen. Generally all of the supports were quite effective. I don't think Baptiste was available in this tournament at all, but it is nice to see that already we are starting to see some changes to the meta, even on very stalwart compositions like Goats. I think it's going to be a little bit of a while before teams, completely move away from this composition, but I guess when you've been practicing this composition for quite some time, you're not going to be that willing to give it up. But of course you have here some other gameplay on Dorado. You see Davis versus James Madison, quad DPS on the side of James Madison. You see Davis running something a bit more traditional with the Sombra, but it is nice to see that 5 hours after the patch went through when this tournament started, that there have been changes and teams wanting to move away from certain comps, especially on certain maps. Lastly, I wanted to go over some Overwatch League stuff, again, at the end, because I know that not everybody's interested in the pro scene, but it is quite interesting how quickly these changes have come around. For example, Baptiste is going to be making his debut in the pro stage of Stage 2. The patch that went through is also going to be in Stage 2 of the Overwatch League, as well as Paris. So that's going to be in the map pool alongside Lijiang Tower, Oasis, Busan, Paris, Temple of Anubis, Hanamura, Blizzard World, Eichenwald, Kings Row, Junkertown, Gibraltar and Rialto. Up until now, the order of maps went Control, Hybrid, Assault and Escort right will have switched Assault and Hybrid so they didn't have matches decided partway through the 3rd map, as draws are more likely on Assault. And they've also changed stuff with how long matches are going to be scheduled for because they tend to run a lot longer than Blizzard were hoping. They've also done some some tiebreaker changes, they had matches played off stream, and he also flipped a coin to decide the seeding for the playoffs, which is happening this week. But that doesn't start until Friday. It's nice to see all of the stuff around Overwatch League and how popular it is. There's a lot of information coming out on its popularity in comparison to last year, and it's good to know that the Overwatch League isn't suffering because the game is a little bit quiet at the moment. I mean, obviously it's not that quiet. We just got a new hero added into the game and one of the biggest patches we've ever had, but still Overwatch is feeling very stale even with all these new changes for a lot of players, and it's nice to see that Overwatch League almost feels separate from the game now as a spectator sport. I don't know, I think the scene as a whole is in a really good spot. But that's everything that I wanted to go over today. A much shorter video than usual. I just wanted to get to the point, go over the leaks, talk about the meta changes already, and of course Overwatch League changes too. Thanks for watching guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.